Stop. Before you hire that painter for your interior or exterior painting project, there's a few things you need to know. There are some unscrupulous home painters out there that won't hesitate to rip you off. Stick around and I'll show you 13 ways that these swindlers try to take advantage of honest customers like you. Your best defense is preparation and knowledge, so get ready to take some notes. Once armed with this information, you'll be able to ask potential contractors all the right questions and get the best possible result for the money you spend. Ripoff number 1, unlicensed contractors. Maintaining a license costs money and assures your contractor meets at least some basic requirements for conducting business in your area. Quite simply, ask to see the original contractor's license. A contractor without an up-to-date license usually has something else to hide, such as ripoff number 2, inadequate insurance. If the contractor damages your property or is responsible for someone getting hurt on your property, your contractor's insurance should pay for any damages and not your homeowner's policy. In fact, homeowner insurance policies frequently do not cover work done by unlicensed or uninsured contractors. Have the contractor show you his original proof of insurance showing the type and amounts of coverage. Ripoff number 3, unbonded workers. Do you trust these strangers around your valuables? What happens if the contractor never finishes the job? Being bonded means that a third party is promising to pay a penalty in the event of the contractor not finishing as agreed, or covering thefts that occur by the contractor's workers or subcontractors. A bond is not the same as insurance. Details of what is covered by the bond will vary. Ask for a copy of the contractor's bond and contact the bonding company before work is to begin to confirm the bond is valid and that the contractor does not have any outstanding claims. You'll also want a copy of the bond to submit a claim yourself should that contractor disappear. Ripoff number 4, inexperienced workers. Are you okay with having an inexperienced part-time worker doing the work? Probably not. Some contractors try to minimize costs and maximize their profits by using only lowest wage workers. Ask them if they use students, part-time workers, subcontractors, illegal workers. Does he pay employees in cash? Is he paying his payroll taxes? It's not to say that you won't get good workmanship from a student or part-time worker, but at least you can make an informed decision and balance cost against experience. Ripoff number 5. Upfront payment. Some painting contractors request an upfront payment to cover cost of materials. Some request no upfront payment at all. Avoid the painter who requests cash only or a large upfront deposit, or one who applies high-pressure sales techniques like, "This deal is only for today." Ripoff number 6. No detailed contract. Get everything in writing, from materials used, timelines, responsibilities of both parties, payment schedules, repairs to be done, total cost, etc. Everything. Things may change once the contract has been signed. That's okay. Simply get the amendments in writing before proceeding with the change. Do not accept verbal agreements. Ripoff number 7. No firm schedule. The contract should state when the work is to begin as well as a deadline for its completion. Avoid the contractor who is unwilling to set a firm schedule or who indicates they only work weekends and evenings. Feel free to negotiate compensation based on meeting or not meeting deadlines. A well-organized contractor would appreciate a bonus for meeting a deadline. Ripoff number 8. Inadequate surface preparation. If you want the results to last, surface preparation is of utmost importance. Painting over cracking, peeling, dirty, moldy, chalky, or rotting surfaces is a recipe for disaster. If you are unsure about what your contractor recommends, take some pictures and get a second opinion from an expert at your local paint store. You don't want to skimp on this, since redoing a botched paint job can end up being more expensive than what the original job should have cost. Ripoff number 9. Unnecessary repairs. Dishonest contractors love getting their foot in the door with a lowball bid on the job, expecting to make up for it by finding costly repairs that need to be done. Especially if you have an older home that you suspect needs repairs, It would be a good idea to pay an experienced and licensed home inspector to assess the extent of the repairs your home might need. When compared to the overall cost of your project, paying a little extra for this inspection would help protect you from the unscrupulous contractor. Ripoff number 10. Cheap paint. The dishonest painter will try to use the cheapest paint he can find and charge you premium paint prices. He may even try to use leftover or returned paint of a closely matching color. Make sure you have the exact type, brand, and color of paint documented in the contract. However, also make sure that is what your painter is actually using. Is he using unlabeled buckets? Is he using unlabeled buckets or paint with a different label? Ask to see the receipt. Is he insisting that a special, expensive type of paint has to be used for your application? Unsure what type or finish of paint would be best for your application? Ask the paint expert at your local paint store. Especially if they deal in multiple brands, they'll usually give you the straight story. Lastly, don't forget about the caulking either. Cheap caulking can let in moisture and cause serious damage. Ripoff number 11. Inadequate equipment. Whether it's cheap brushes leaving bristles behind in your paint, rickety old ladders scratching your hardwood floors, or insufficient painting supplies, inadequate equipment can make for poor results, damage your property, and create an unsafe work environment. To protect against this, check with the references, and if possible, go see the crew in action. Ripoff number 12. Shortcut techniques. Properly protecting surfaces that shouldn't get paint on them takes time and lots of supplies like painter's tape, drop cloths, plastic sheeting, and more. Outside, you have bushes, flower beds, your neighbor's Porsche. Ask the contractor about the steps he takes to protect light switches and outlets, your furniture, your flower beds, gutters, etc. Ask how he patches those minor drywall dings and holes. What about shrunken, cracked, or missing caulking? Make sure those things are fixed and in the contract and not simply painted over. Ripoff number 13. No references. Dishonest painting companies might try to pass off a paid stooge as a reference. They might give you an address of an unoccupied house that they claim they painted. Are you never able to speak live to the references they provide? Honest and successful painting companies leave a trail. Start by checking with the Better Business Bureau at bbb.org. Contact the references provided and ask them about their satisfaction with the work performed. Ask the reference to see the recent work. Look for details like paint drips, trim work, etc. Use the internet to research the contractor. Perform a search on their phone number and look for reviews. Lastly, continue to educate yourself. The scam artist's favorite victim is one that is unprepared and uninformed. Don't let yourself get ripped off. Please forward and share this video to make sure your friends, coworkers, and family don't get ripped off by unscrupulous painting contractors.